So guys, this is part 3 in my video on making my HO scale display case. So in this video I want to show you putting the cork on my base I made on part 2 of the video. Um, so I'm just lining up the cork to the very end of the base there. And making sure it's lined up very carefully there. And what I'm going to do is take my other two pieces, put it at the end, and what I'm going to do is mark the end and then cut those pieces to length. Just take your time at this stage because you don't want to cut twice. You only want to cut once. So I'm just making sure everything's lined up correctly. And it looks like I'm pretty good here. So what I want to do is take my straight edge and I'm just going to take my marker and just make a line. Not really necessary at this point. You could just go straight cutting. And I'm just doing a cut down the line. Really carefully, slowly. At this point you could probably just snap it off because it is cork, so but I just want a nice clean cut. That's why I'm not snapping it at this point. So I've got the one cut there. So what I want to use to adhere the cork to the base there is Elmer's glue. Elmer's glue has been working good so far on this project, so I want to continue using it. And plus it's very, very inexpensive. It's better than using Loctite, which can be quite expensive. So what I'm doing here is turning the cork upside down. And I'm going to run a couple beads up and down. So make sure I got good coverage of the glue on the bottom here. And then what I'm going to do is take my finger and just rub that glue really evenly on that bottom portion of the cork. Okay, it looks like I have the glue pretty much evenly distributed out on the bottom of this first piece of cork. Don't be afraid to add more glue to it if you think it's necessary, but it doesn't really take much. So what I'm doing is gently placing it into place here. So what I'm making sure here is making sure the end is flush with the end of the cardboard. And I'm just making some fine adjustments by eyeing it. And then I'll take my straight edge and just make sure it's pretty straight. And once I'm satisfied with that, I'll turn over the second piece and just do the exact same thing I did with the first one. Just put in a generous amount of glue, spread it out very evenly, And just take your time, guys. If you need to put more glue, just go ahead like I did there. And just spread it out very evenly. So at this point, I'm ready to put that second piece of cork on there. And what I'm doing is just lining it up with the first piece of cork I laid down, making sure that end is even with the cardboard. And I'm just applying some pressure to both sides of the cork to make sure it's butt up really good. And it looks like I got it pretty good here. Okay, now I'm ready to do the other half of this cork here. So I'm just making sure my cork is at the proper length. Now I'm going to apply the glue to it, same way I did with the other two pieces of cork. Just evenly put it out there, guys. Take your time. If you need more glue, go for it. So I'm going to lay down this last piece here. Just taking my time, making sure everything's lined up. Each cork is butted up to each other really well. And just press down on it, making sure you got a good seal between the cork and the base itself. And I'm just rubbing my hand along it, making sure everything's all good. So at this point, guys, I want to put some cans on top of it, or anything that you feel is heavy enough, and I'm going to let this sit overnight. And you'll be surprised how well the Elmer's glue works in this sort of project versus using Loctite. I have nothing against Loctite. It's a great product, but it sure costs a lot of money. So if you're looking for an inexpensive way of gluing down your cork to your base, Elmer's glue will work just fine, guys. So I'm just spreading out these cans evenly. And like I said, I'm going to let this dry overnight. Don't rush it. It's worth it to let it dry overnight, so you get a nice tight fit between the cork and the base. Until next time, guys.